Are you stuck doing everything yourself and wondering why your business isn't growing? Are you feeling like you're living in a rat race and you don't see the way out of it? The secret isn't working harder, it's delegating smarter. And today, I'm going to show you pro tips how to delegate, outsource, and optimize your business in the most efficient way. Hi, I am Alena Goco, the founder of Soapy Mania. I have a super efficient team of employees who work from all over the world and allow me to scale my business and enjoy my life. I get asked a lot, how do you hire people? How do you manage people? How do you trust them? How did I make it living in Florida while my warehouse and the whole business is still in LA in California? Today, I decided to create this video to answer all these questions and give you a step-by-step guide on how to optimize tasks, how to outsource efficiently, and how to delegate like a pro. I keep saying that one of my superpowers is attracting good people. However, I strongly believe that this is a skill and you can learn it yourself, and you can also build a group of people that are going to be working for you, with you, and you're going to be able to scale your business and enjoy your life as well. Before we start, please don't forget to click subscribe button and like button to avoid missing new videos. I love this channel and I enjoy seeing your comments. I enjoy being helpful. Please support me on this journey by subscribing to my channel. All right, let's go. First of all, let's talk about delegation overall. Delegation is the difference between an overwhelmed business owner and a thriving business owner, between a self-employed person and entrepreneur. It is also the difference between unscalable business and scalable business. If you want to grow, if you want more people to see your product, the only way is to delegate, to build a team. I keep saying that there is not even one successful product that was made by one person and was managed by one person. It's also a team, a group of people behind every single brand. But also, let's address very common misconception. Delegation is not that you're handing off the tasks that you don't want to do. No. That's not how it works. That's actually a step to nowhere. Delegation is all about efficiently allocating the resources to stay focused on what truly matters. Meaning, you find whatever you are really good and efficient at, and you keep doing this. If you're a business owner, even if you don't think that you're efficient at managing people, eventually you have to develop the skill, just because this is going to be your number one task. You're going to be the head of everything, and you're going to be giving direction to move for your team, and they're going to be executing your plan. So you are the one who needs to be working on the business, not in the business. So why delegation is vital? Well, first of all, it's the time. There's only 24 hours. If you're going to be doing everything yourself, it's going to take you years and years and years to achieve something that you could have achieved within days. The second is the focus. You have to be focused on something that is more strategic. You should put your energy into something revenue generating, to something more strategic rather than something nitty-gritty. And the third one is scalability. Like I said, if you're going to be doing everything yourself, there's only one of you. There is no way you can clone yourself. You can't be involved in every single bit of your business. Otherwise, it's not going to be scalable. The most common signs that you need to delegate. First of all, you are feeling overwhelmed or burned out. That's very common because if you're doing everything yourself, especially you're doing something that you're not good at, you're wasting way too much time on certain tasks, you just burn out. You're just overwhelmed and you feel like that nothing is moving and you're stuck in the rat race. The second sign is that the important decisions or tasks are consistently delayed or procrastinated. Just because you're always doing something that is less important because it's quicker, oh, I'm going to spend like 5 minutes to fix that, 3 minutes to fix that, and then I'm going to start this bigger task that's going to take a few days of my time, and then it gets delayed because those tiny tasks, they're always there and they always pop up. That's why you kind of have to have a personal assistant first of all, but that's down the road. The next sign is that your business isn't growing just because you're stuck in the weeds. So instead of pursuing some kind of revenue generating, fun, really important plan or task, you're stuck in the weeds, updating your website, polishing the pictures on your social media. You see the difference, right? If you want to grow, if you want to have a bigger and better business, you need to be the head of it. You need to be the one who is generating ideas, who is giving the plan to the employees to execute it. Another sign that you need to delegate is that you're missing the opportunities because you're too busy. This is another thing of a young and new entrepreneur. They think that, what do you mean you can have time to have fun? There's always something to do. I'm too busy with creating the spreadsheet rather than attending some kind of networking event where you can meet potential customers or partners, or you can grow your business. I already have a few videos on this topic, but I think it's still very important, and people tend to underestimate the power of analysis. What I mean by that, I suggest every entrepreneur to write down everything that they do throughout the week. Week is not very good approximation to your bigger picture. However, it still shows a lot. You write down every single minute what you do from 11:35 to 11:40. I was checking emails and I was sorting them out. From 11:40 to 12:40, I was replying on the emails, and so on and so forth. And you write down everything, like even little tasks. Oh, I just checked the weather quickly for my upcoming trip. I played with my kid. Put that in the spreadsheet. What I do, but that's like extra credit, I color code those tasks. Business critically important. That's going to be like red. Orange is something that needs my attention, but it's not very urgent. Also, I incorporate the Eisenhower matrix that divides my tasks on 4 categories. That's important, not important, urgent, non-urgent, a mixture of them. This is the video that I explained this Eisenhower matrix on. So once you see this bigger picture with the colored codes, that, something that is urgent, something that is important, something is business related, something it's family related, you see that you probably are spending way too much time on performing some kind of tedious tasks. So the step 1 would be to optimize the tasks. Just FYI, you can optimize pretty much everything, and you need to keep optimizing on the daily or weekly basis, just because we live in a fast-paced world. There is so much going on. There are so many apps, tools, services are created daily, and they're getting more and more AI optimized. If before, the simple task of creating a post on Instagram took me a few hours, now it takes like seconds. Right? So you just put the prompt on ChatGPT, it's done. Similar happens to a lot of tasks that we are doing on our daily basis in our business. And actually, optimization is the very first step for those who are absolutely freaked out to delegate, who do not believe that people can handle their tasks, who think that it's only me who can do it that way, and there's no way I can trust someone. So optimization is the easiest step to make at least your work more efficient. So you see what areas in your business that you are spending a lot of time, and this is a tedious, repetitive task, and check if it's possible to optimize it. So by optimization, I mean, first of all, automate. So if you can create some kind of an automation reply on the email that has this and that, or if it's coming from a certain business or a certain email and you generate an auto reply, hey, like this and this and that, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or if it's some kind of database that you keep inputting physically numbers into, there's 2 ways you can automate it, and I'm sure there's like so many ways to automate it with AI. There are so many already AI tools that you can load your data from various sources and from various formats, and it generates a spreadsheet for you or anything you like it to make for you. If you don't feel like there is an AI, I'm sure there is, but if you didn't find it, there is a second step to outsource it. Let's say SEO. SEO is something that needs to be already automated and outsourced to companies in India, let's say. The level of income in these countries are much lower. They do not require bigger budgets. However, the people are very trained and they're doing it for years and they are very efficient. So if you can't completely automate it, which is also a possibility because there's AI tools, but probably you can hire a company that's located in India and you can pay them, $100 a month for them to SEO optimize your website. That's just an example. There are so many tools that you can either automate or outsource, creating invoices, any sort of data entry, so that you can save so much time, so much money, so much energy, and you just see the results. You get the reports, you see the graphs, you see the charts, and you make your decisions based on the information that is provided versus you spending your time inputting this information into the spreadsheet, and then by the time the day is gone and you haven't made so many important decisions based on these charts, and then everything is very much delayed. If the task is repetitive and it's very tedious, straightforward, most likely you need to automate it. If the task is taking way too much of your time and you're not a pro at this, let's say accounting or like SEO, you can outsource it. If the task distracts you from a bigger picture and it needs to be performed by a human at this point, then you need to delegate it, because you as a business owner need to focus on a bigger picture, a bigger strategy, an idea generation process, rather than into daily routines. I do not make my soap anymore. I do not pack my orders. I do not communicate with the customers. I do not do any data entry. I just receive the data, I analyze the charts, and I come up with interesting ideas. I attend events. I talk to people. I research the ways of improving my company and upgrading the customer service and so on. The moment I have an idea, and the moment you have an idea, you have to execute it. If you are stuck in the weeds, if you're stuck in your routine, there is no way you can test your ideas because you just don't have time. There is not enough energy. You're burnt out and you see a cemetery of your brilliant ideas just because they're buried under the routine of your day-to-day tasks. So here are the simple tools that we personally use. Disclaimer, I'm not affiliated with any of these services, just giving you the information that I personally use. So automation, Zapier, the tool that connects all the apps together and automate them efficiently. The HubSpot is a very powerful CRM system. There's a lot it can do. I only use it for the customer service relationships and for the communication. Calendly, to schedule meetings, to synchronize all the calendars. These are just, the very first ones that come up on my mind. We're actually updating most of them already, and we're using different services because we already are a little bigger and we can sustain managing all these apps. However, for the beginners, these are very good tools to look at. AI power tools, of course, ChatGPT. It's everything from idea generating to data analysis to writing scripts to replying on your emails and so on and so forth. Very, very powerful. Please use it and try to incorporate it in your daily tasks, daily routines. That's going to save so much of your money and energy. Product management, I personally like using ClickUp. However, I noticed that my team moved to Google Planners and Google Tools internally. I have also used before Trello and Asana. Whatever you prefer, spend some time at the beginning to check every single one of them and see what are your demands and what are your desires, and pick the one that suits you, because once you start using one, it's going to be very hard to transition to another. Email communication, Klaviyo, that has email campaigns, so like preset that triggers some kind of email messages. This is the basic set of tools that we're using most of the time. However, depending on your industry, depending on your product, service, or business type, you need to research yours. I'm going to talk about money a little later. However, here I want to make a note. Marketing being so saturated with all the tools and possibilities, yes, they cost from $10 to, I don't know, $30, $50 a month, which doesn't sound much at the beginning. However, you need to check whether you really need them, what stage of the business you are, if you need those automations. Because if you are really, really small and you only create one spreadsheet a month and it takes you 20 minutes, I would think twice if you need to implement something that's going to cost you like $50 a month for that. All those apps are going to be the most cost effective for you if you're going to be using them fully and completely. So check your weekly spreadsheet again. What are you doing? What's the most time are taken? And how can you automate your tasks? How you make them more efficient? And then look at the cost that you're going to be paying for it. The next step is outsourcing. Outsourcing means that you hire external experts to perform tasks on your business. Ideally, those are the tasks that do not require in-house supervision, meaning that you do not need to train this team of people or these experts to perform something that is very specific and unique for your business. In my situation, I cannot outsource soap making just because this is the whole idea of my business. We handmade soap using unique formulas and unique techniques. We technically can outsource that, but this is our main value and our main idea to do it in-house. And we are not ready to outsource this specific task. However, we as a manufacturer, we create soaps for other brands. So the other brands are outsourcing their soap creation to us, and we are using their formulas and we are using their directions to perform this task. We make soap, we pack them, and we ship it. And then they are working on other tasks, which is like marketing, sales, and so on. Also, I cannot outsource my personal assistant just because I need to hire a person. This is already delegation. I delegate tasks that I technically need to perform myself, but in order to make my time more efficient, I delegate it. So outsource is something that you delegate to a team of experts or single expert. These tasks can be like technical, create a website. Why would you spend time learning how to create a website? Make so many mistakes while creating the website. And then your website is still not going to be looking like a pro-made, while you can outsource this task. It's a one-time task. Website is not a one-time task because you need a certain maintenance, but the creation can be very easily outsourced to an external team. Let's say app development. You have an idea of an app, you have a technical task, and you have a plan how it needs to be done, and then you outsource this task. Creative work can be easily outsourced, like creating logo, taking pictures for your website, editing them and posting them on your social media or on your website, video editing, any source of branding, any source of creating. Creative work can be outsourced to one company or to several different companies, depending on how you set it up. Operational tasks can be technically outsourced, like logistics. You hire a company that does all your logistics, that store your products somewhere, that send it to your customers and schedule all the pickups and so on. Bookkeeping, absolutely. I would not yet fully automated, but I would definitely outsource it to professionals, to people who are trained, who it takes them like minutes or seconds to make these decisions. I personally see it for hours and try to figure out what category is that and how to store all this data correctly. Customer service, you can train an in-house person. That's again, it's up to you. You either hire a person for the customer service, or if you're becoming a bigger company and you deal with a lot of returns, a lot of customer concerns, a lot of questions, I would outsource it. And the bigger the company, the more possibility that you're going to be outsourcing it. Like look at bigger sharks like, Amazon and other companies that are outsourcing it anywhere, Philippines, India. Yes, we are not always happy with these customer service, but they're very well trained and they're very much efficient, actually. They do solve the problem fairly well. However, again, it's up to you whether you want to spend your time educating someone and supervising someone who is going to be performing this task, or you can outsource it to a company, give them scripts, or most likely they already have all the scripts, especially if you have phone calls coming in. You don't want to sit and answer the phone calls or reply on all the messages coming through your website. So where do you find the companies or those specialists to outsource your tasks to? If it's going to be like one-time job or even like ongoing projects, it just needs like skilled professionals. You can go to Fiverr or Upwork. You can find very budget-friendly people from all over the world, and you can see their work that they've done before, and you can compare the tasks that you need to perform. You can see their results, and most likely you can find a professional who can perform outsourcing tasks. It's not like that you want to delegate something completely. It's not someone that you want to hire for your company and make this person an employee, but it's like a one-time service or sort of project that you need to perform. The next, you go to agencies. So let's say marketing. There is a lot of efficient marketing agencies that can do, split tests for you, that can run creatives. There are different various sizes and various possibilities. Some of the marketing companies, they do everything turnkey, from email campaigns to pictures taken for the creatives to running the split tests to finding new leads and the new customers for you. There are smaller companies that can only do, let's say, Google Ads or email marketing. Whatever you need, there is always there. It depends on the size and the budget that you have. And another way to find the reliable outsourcing help would be specialized services like logistics services. There's a lot of companies that specialize on storing and on logistics. And if you ship a lot of physical product and your volumes already, over than a certain amount, it might make sense to go to some kind of logistics company that can handle this for you completely. So you just ship them a pallet of products and they distribute it among your customers. Or distribution companies. Most of the bigger stores, they require you to work with the distribution company that get also a cut from your sales. At the same time, they're helping you a lot by taking over all the communication with every single customer. They're dealing with the returns, the refunds, and so on and so forth. And you just focus on creating a product and shipping it to them and monitoring the cost efficiency of these services. The next step is delegating. You need to delegate tasks that require your constant attention or are very core to your business. It can be day-to-day operations. It can be something repetitive tasks, the things that you do daily or weekly yourself, but it cannot be automated or it cannot be outsourced. Like a personal assistant, like nitty-gritty tasks. Call here to make a reservation, book me a flight, book me those tickets, find me a doctor, and so on. All these simple tasks. So I believe that the very first step is you hire a personal assistant, period. The next task that you want to delegate would be specialized task. Anything that requires an expertise that you don't have, but at the same time, you don't want to outsource it completely. You want to manage it and you want to be involved in it as well. In my situation, these were soap creation, the shipping and packing, managing inventory, and managing technically the whole production side. This is all delegated. I only make the biggest decisions over there, but on the day-to-day operations, they do not even bother me. And the third task that needs to be delegated is something that is time sensitive. These are the tasks that need attention right now, but not necessarily yours. So somebody needs to do it right now. You can explain somebody how to do it, and it needs to be done right now. So let's say I am filming this video and I give my assistant a task, say, hey, could you please, while I do that, could you please schedule this, contact this person, and check if these guys perform their task and they're ready to have a meeting to have a review of their work. So something that is done on the background. So it does require some time. We need to hurry up to do that. However, I don't have to do it myself. So how to delegate efficiently? First of all, you need to clearly define the task. You need to write down a description. You need to explain a person from A to Z what needs to be done. You need to give a deadline, and you need to set expectations on what the outcome that you have. I suggest not to tell your employees how to do it unless you're completely sure that you have the most efficient way. But if you give your employees the room for maneuver, they might surprise you. However, if it's like a completely brand new task and no one knows how to do it, let's say how to make soap, they had no idea. I could not tell them, hey, make this soap by this date and it needs to look like this. I had to explain them, I had to show them, I had to train them. But before that, all the recipe was written, all the directions were written, and so on. So explain everything as much as possible. Sometimes people tend to say, hey, I'm going to explain it for 20 minutes to 30 minutes while I'm going to do this task for 5 minutes. Yes, that's a possibility. However, you explain it once, and the task is going to be performed on an ongoing basis every single day or every single week. And eventually, you are going to benefit from you spending the time originally explaining everything in details. And then the person is going to be performing and taking this little 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there from your time and allocating this time for you to perform something important. The next step is choosing the right person. I'm going to have a whole video on this because choosing the right person is not something that is like super easy and super transparent. How do I know if it's the right person? I have hired and fired so many people in my life, and I think I have a very good experience on choosing the right ones. I'm very blessed with an amazing team who stay with me for years and years. I can rely on them. I take them as an extended family for me, and I trust them completely with everything they need to do. Only one thing that I need to say here, by choosing the right person, you need to match the skills and the desires of a person with the task that you need to delegate. So you need to identify the task. You need to realize yourself what type of a person needs to do that specific task, and you find this person. So it works the other way around. The next step is provide training and resources. Like I said before, you need to explain everything from the very beginning. You have to have some kind of documents, some kind of trainings for the person to watch, to see, to go through. And you need to empower this person with this knowledge so that the tasks are going to be performed very efficiently. I used to think that everything is so obvious. Why don't you use this to do that? So no. Nothing is obvious. You just need to explain everything in details. You use your right hand to use spatula to steer it this way because of this and this and that. The more time you invest at the beginning into a new hire, more efficient your work is going to become later. Of course, at the beginning, there's going to be calibration time when you explain person and give person a little more attention at the beginning. And then this person is going to get going much, much quicker after. And the fourth step, of course, you need to create accountability. People need to have some kind of transparent reporting situation. If you have a smaller team, probably one-on-one meetings, at least 15 minutes a week is a must, on my opinion, to check in. How are you doing? How to help you? What's the problem? What's the biggest success? How are you feeling about this and that? And if I add you more of these tasks, would you be able to perform them well? And so on and so forth. I personally do not do like weekly reports, what was done, what was not done. I do it once in a while if I need it, but mostly the hierarchy of my company is very set up that everyone knows what to do and managers know how to manage other employees. I do not need to see that they're working. To me, the result is the key. I think those weekly reports, it's a little outdated system. I used to work for the government, for the military for quite some time. And I remember that I was wasting so much time on those reports. I was spending like half of a Friday every week just to create a report what was done during the week. I think it was just a waste of time of my time and of their time if they read it. I actually even doubt if they were ever reading those. I think it's an outdated method. So there's apps that you set some kind of deadlines like Monday.com, or ClickUp or Trello, Asana, anything that you can technically see what's the person is doing, where it's going, and what's the outcome. So how it works in my company. I have weekly meetings with my key personnel. We set up the goals and the deadlines for the week. I sometimes tell them, hey, can you please push this task higher in your priority list? And they report me as they go, especially if it's something important and most likely, other people and other team members and probably even other companies, the outsourced companies, can be involved in some of the tasks. So they report, hey, they give me an okay, they give me a deadline to submit this paperwork. So for this paperwork, we need this team to work on the packaging, this team to work on the production, this team to work on the inventory, and so on and so forth. So I set them goals. They report me as we go. To me, the email is the most efficient way of communication just because, first of all, you see the log of what was going on before. And if you forgot something, you can quickly refresh your memory. At the same time, it's not distracting me from my daily routines with like text messages or phone calls just because this is not efficient. And everyone knows if I do not reply on that email and if it's something urgent, of course, they can text me. And I know myself that if there is a text, that means that there is an urgency for that. Most likely that doesn't happen. I do not believe in urgent tasks. I believe that all the most important tasks, they cannot be urgent. And if everything is urgent, another tip, then urgent and important, try to dump it into your personal assistant list and focus on the second quadrant of Eisenhower matrix, where the tasks are non-urgent but very important. This is where you grow. This is what's the bigger vision coming from. So let's again draw the line between optimization, automation, and delegation. You automate something that is very repetitive, very straightforward, and it can be done by a robot or by a tool. Outsourcing is the non-core tasks that require specialized help, like SEO, marketing, whatever it can be. And delegation is when you assign the core tasks to a trusted team member. You train this person and you work with this person for a long time. So the key questions to ask is, does this task require human touch? And think twice, because robots and AI are getting smarter and smarter right now. So in your task lists, there should be more and more automated tasks, and there should be more and more yes to this question. So the next question, can your task be simplified by adding some kind of tool or automation? That means that you still perform part of it, but the rest of it is done by something else, like data entry and so on. So you completely automate the data entry or outsource the data entry, but you perform the analysis yourself. And the third question, if this task is essential for your company long term. And if it is, that most likely it's going to be delegation. And now let's talk about budget and salaries. So hiring a person and outsourcing a company requires some kind of upfront investment, because when you hire someone, your employee is not very efficient at the very beginning and you invest a lot of your time to train the person. So technically you're paying the salary for something that is not performed yet well. However, in the long term, you are getting your investments back just because this task is completely delegated, it's completely performed by other person. So let's break down the money that you're going to spend on each possible way. So automation tools can cost you from $10 a month to, let's say, $100 a month. Freelancers can cost you from somewhere $15 an hour to $100 an hour, depending on their qualification and depending on their area of expertise and depending on the task that you want to outsource. Virtual assistants can cost you from $400 a month to $1,500 a month. They can easily agree to work for you on the hourly basis or as needed, and they're very flexible most of the time. So I strongly recommend to start with hiring a personal assistant, just because your life will never be the same after you hire one, I promise. And the full-time employee can cost you in the United States from $35,000 a year to $150,000 a year, depending on the area of expertise and depending on whatever you need to delegate. So based on these numbers, you make your own decisions whether your business can afford it or not. I'm not saying that you need to see down the road like, hey, I won't be able to afford it in 5 years run, just because at this point your company is smaller, but then it's going to grow, and most likely this employee that you're going to hire for $50,000 a year is going to benefit you and it's going to bring you money. And always remember that you do everything, automate, outsource, and delegate to make money, not to spend money. And the statement is that, oh, I don't have money, I cannot afford hiring someone, is a false statement. You are hiring someone so that this person generates you money. So it's the other way around. You're not spending this money, you're investing this money and you're getting a return. That's the key idea of this whole delegation thing. If you change this thinking in your mind, you will be able to afford any help and you'll see a bigger difference. Technically, the ROI of your delegation, first of all, you get time, and time is the most precious thing. Most wealthy people, they buy time. By hiring someone or outsourcing or automating something, you get this time to focus on something more important, to make revenue generating decisions, to steer your company, to be the captain of this boat. The second is stress reduction. This is a big one, just because if you're constantly running on the stress, one day you're gonna burn out or you can get sick. You just can give up on everything only because you constantly live in the stress. And if you're stressed, then the entire company that you're trying to build is going to be stressed and nothing is going to work efficiently. The more relaxed, the more focused, the more present you are, the more energy, good energy you have, the better it is both for you and for your business. And of course, cost efficiency. I determine the cost of my hour. So let's say my hour costs $100. I know that I can generate income by performing tasks that are going to be $100 worth. If I know someone who can perform this task as good as I do, or I can train a person to do so, and this person is going to cost me $90, it's already $10 saved. And I would go for it, because if I'm going to be doing everything and performing this $100, then I'm going to get stuck on the $100 roof over my head. If I hire someone and I have extra $10 and then I hire another person that's going to give me another extra $10 and so on and so forth, I can eventually grow and expand. And this is the way to go. I also decided to answer the frequently asked questions on delegation. If you didn't find any answers to your questions, please put them in the comments below. I am very, very happy to reply to your comments, and you guys give me ideas on the videos that I need to make and the topics that I need to talk, and I am very happy to be very helpful. Question number 1, how do you decide how many people to hire? This all depends on the situation. Again, if you're the solopreneur and you just at the very beginning and you just starting your business and you wrote down all the tasks that you've done, that you've performed during the week, you see some kind of similar tasks and you gather them together and you say, hey, well, technically there's like 20 hours of this whole work week can be delegated, and technically it's half of a person, but again, you can hire help that is going to be hourly basis. So you technically need like one person if it's like 20 hours of similar tasks. In my situation, let's say I have a big project coming and I know that this project I will need to create this amount of products with this amount of time, and I know how much time it takes to create one product. So I do simple mathematics and I realize, hey, in order to make 100,000 pieces of soap within 3 months, I need extra 7 people, like full-timers. This is how technically I know how many people I need. It all very unique and different. If you are struggling with this, you can always go to my website and get a consultation, and we can look at your situation one-on-one, and we can see how to optimize and how to estimate how many people you need to hire. However, this is a very unique situation because it all depends on the expertise required to perform your task, on efficiency of the person that you're going to hire, because I believe that every single person in my team is worth 2 or 3 people. They're as efficient and they're not slackers, and I absolutely admire every one of them, but it took me some time to get them that level. So technically, you need to know the task that needs to be done. You need to assess how much time and the deadline of this task, and then calculate how many people you need to hire. There's another great question here. How do you ensure outsourced work meets your standards? If you outsource something, you define your requirements, you write it down, you communicate, and you explain everything that needs to be done, and you set up like certain KPIs, requirements, and probably some kind of checklist. I love checklists, so I do the checklist and I put everything in like some kind of spreadsheet all the time, some kind of table. And I like setting up preliminary check-ins. So if this is like a creative task, and let's say I need for them to create some kind of artwork, for me, I like to see the intermediate results, and I need to see like whether they're going the direction that I want them to be, because sometimes you think that you communicated well, but it didn't work as well, and this is normal, this is okay. And sometimes I actually had to break the contract in the middle just because I understand like on the preliminary results, I see like, no, we're going completely wrong direction right now, and unfortunately it's not going to work. I give second chances, but that I should actually stop giving second chances, because the instincts and the intuition tells you the right answers right away. You just need to listen to it. However, sometimes I give second chances and I explain, hey, let's actually fix that and let's go this direction, and then we'll see how it goes. You can use some kind of tools depending on the work that is outsourced, and you can see if those KPIs meet in the middle. However, don't go into micromanaging just because you're going to end up stressing yourself. You're still going to be doing something for them, and you're going to be wasting way too much energy and way too much time and money on micromanaging. Actually, same situation when your employees are somewhere far, like on a distance. I have a lot of people who work on a distance, and I do not have any problems with their hours and their work, because I have this thing. As long as the work is done within the certain deadline that I am ready to pay this money, I don't care if you spend 5 minutes or if you spend this entire time frame that I gave you. As long as the work is done and as long as it's efficient, I am okay paying some extra, or like paying as much as we agreed, even though this task took you like 2 minutes to perform. Don't be too nitty-gritty. This happens when you, let's say, hire an electrician and he shows up and it takes like 10 minutes to fix something electrical, and they're like, okay, $300, please. I'm like, why? It took you just 5 minutes. But yeah, it took them probably 4 years of school and 10 years of experience to be that efficient. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this helpful. I would like to emphasize that delegation, optimization, and outsourcing is a triangle that your business needs to sit on. These are 3 keys to success. If you master delegation, if you master optimization and automation, you will be able to grow your business, you will be able to reduce stress, scale, and at the same time enjoy your life fully, and you will make a lot of money by just building the system that works on its own. Again, if you have any questions, please comment below or hit me on my website for the consultation. If you need something more specific and you need my attention, I would be happy to help you. And thank you very much for listening. Until the next time, bye.